Hello and welcome. You're watching Unplugged TV India. This is Alice Francis. Let's begin with today's top stories. Assam Civic polls voting and 80 municipalities conducted on Sunday. Grenade attack in Srinagar street, 1 civilian dead, 24 injured. PM Modi unveils Shivaji statue, launches metro rail project in Pune. Mithali Raj becomes first woman cricketer to play 6 World Cups. Schedule for Indian Premier League 2022 out, the much-loved sports event will begin from March 26. Russia's invasion continues, enter 11th day, talks on ceasefire likely on Monday. Ukraine crisis, more than 15,900 Indian citizens brought back under Operation Ganga. Rivers of blood and tears are flowing across Ukraine, says Pope Francis, calls on Russia to end Ukraine war. UK Prime Minister Boris Johnson planning out strategy to counter Russia's invasion on Ukraine. Assam Civic polls began on Sunday. Voters cast ballots in 80 civic bodies with 977 wards on amid strict security. According to Election Commission data, over 2,500 candidates are running in the Assam Civic elections. The Bharatiya Janata Party has the most candidates with 825, followed by the Congress 706 and the Assam Gana Parishad AGP with 243 candidates. In the civic body elections, more than 16 lakh people and 17 transgenders are eligible to vote. Thousands of government workers were assigned to election duty and the day of the count. Aside from that, over 30 poll observers have arrived in the state to oversee the voting process. Electronic voting machines were used for polling for the first time instead of vote papers. The result of the voting will be announced on Wednesday, March 9. On Sunday, a grenade attack occurred in a crowded area of Srinagar, Jammu and Kashmir, injuring 24 civilians, one of whom is serious condition. The attack, according to the Central Reserve Police Force, was targeted at security forces and police officers stationed in the Amira Kadal neighborhood of the city. Amira Kadal is a commercial area with a large footfall of locals. A 64-year-old civilian, Abdul Salam Makhdoumi, resident of the Novata area in Srinagar, was killed in the blast. The attack took place near Hari Singh High Street, where a party of security forces is stationed for duty, according to Kishori Prasad, DIG CRPF. No Jawan was harmed in the incident, while some civilians have been injured. Soon after, Srinagar Mayor Junaid Azim Mattu issued a statement on Twitter condemning the grenade blast and calling it a cruel, senseless terror attack. Prime Minister Narendra Modi on Sunday unveiled a 9.5 feet tall statue of great Maratha warrior Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaj and launched a 12-kilometer stretch of 32.2 kilometer long metro rail project in Maharashtra's Pune. He took a metro ride from Garware College to Anand Nagar metro station to address a rally at MIT ground. He also shared pictures of him taking the metro ride along with school children. On December 24, 2016, the foundation stone for the metro project was laid by Prime Minister Modi. The project aims to provide world-class infrastructure for urban mobility in Pune. The project will cost more than 11,400 crore to complete. Pune Metro is the country's first project to use aluminium body coaches made in India as part of the Make in India initiative. Some good news in the cricket world. Mithali Raj, the captain of the Indian women's cricket team, became the first woman and just the third cricketer in history to play in 6 ICC Women's Cricket World Cups on Sunday. The 39-year-old, who led India in the first game of their World Cup campaign, here was caught by Pakistan's Diana Baig of Nashra Sadhu's bowling on Sunday after scoring just 9 runs in 36 deliveries. Mithali's achievement ensured that the record entered a new decade. Former Pakistan cricketer Javed Miandad played in the first 6 men's cricket World Cups between 1975 and 1996. After that, Sachin Tendulkar debuted in 1992. Mithali had already captained India at a World Cup after making her tournament debut in 2000 when Tendulkar's fairy tale conclusion occurred in 2011. The right-hander has now equaled Australian star Belinda Clark by captaining at her fourth ICC Women's World Cup, with Clark's tenure spanning from 1993 to 2005. Clark and Mithali are the only two players in history to have led their country to multiple World Cups. Mithali's World Cup career now covers more than 2 decades, with no women ever having competed in 2 ICC Women's World Cups 20 years apart. The Indian Premier League schedule for the 2022 has been revealed. The match will begin on March 26 with defending champions Chennai Super Kings will meet IPL 2021 runners-up KKR at Wankhede Stadium in the season opener. Due to the COVID-19 spike in the last 2 years, the IPL has been held in the UAE, but IPL 2022 will be held in India itself. Chennai Super Kings, Delhi Capitals, Punjab Kings, Kolkata Knight Riders, Mumbai Indians, Rajasthan Royals, Royal Challengers Bangalore and Sunrisers Hyderabad were the only 8 teams that had competed in IPL last year, but this year 2 new teams will add to the list: Ahmedabad Lions and Lucknow Nawabs. The match is set to begin on March 26. On May 29, the final will be held, while IPL 2022, a total 74 matches will be played, within 10 teams competing for the title of IPL Champions 2022. Putin's invasion has now completed 11 days. Also, other fresh airstrikes have been reported in Ukraine's Kharkiv, resulting in the collapse of several buildings. The Russian forces opened fire at Ukrainian citizens protesting against the invasion in a Ukrainian city. Protest also erupted in Kherson, the first city to be captured by Russia. On the outskirts of the southern city of Kloe, near the vital Black Sea city of Odessa in the west, fierce skirmishes have been reported. 1 million people have fled Ukraine since the war began. Ukraine's negotiator said a third round of ceasefire talks with Russia will take place on Monday. However, Moscow seemed less certain. Russian forces are targeting populous area in Ukraine, but the amount of opposition is limiting their approach. Meanwhile, Russia has denied that it is targeting civilian areas on several occasions. After a brief ceasefire on Saturday, bombardment in the port city of Mariupol resumed. There have been international calls for humanitarian corridors to be opened for residents trapped in key Ukrainian cities under Kremlin attack. Ukrainian Prime Minister Zelensky asked for help securing aircraft from European allies in a video call with US lawmakers. He also called again for more lethal aid, a ban on Russian oil, a no-fly zone and an end-to-end visa and MasterCard privileges in Russia. More than 15,900 Indians have been brought back since the special flights under Operation Ganga began on February 2022 to rescue the stranded Indian citizens in Ukraine. To rescue Indian citizens, 2,135 Indians have been brought back on Sunday by 11 special civilian flights from Ukraine's neighboring countries. The number of Indians airlifted by 66 special civilian flights goes up to 13,852. Till date, the Indian Air Force has flown 10 sorties to bring back 2,056 passengers while taking 26 tons of relief load to these countries. Among the special civilian flights on Sunday, 9 landed in New Delhi while 2 reached Mumbai. There were 6 flights from Budapest, 2 from Bucharest, 2 from Zezo and 1 from Sis. On Monday, 8 special flights are expected to operate from Budapest, Sieva and Bucharest, bringing in more than 15,000 Indians back home. Pope Francis joined the chorus of voices criticizing Russia's invasion on Ukraine. rejecting Moscow's claim that the assault is merely a military operation. In his weekly address to throngs assembled in St. Peter's Square in Vatican City, the head of the Catholic Church said, "Rivers of blood and tears are flowing across Ukraine. This is a war, not just a military operation that is causing death, damage and misery." The Pope's strong words come days after churches in Poland, which has welcomed refugees fleeing bloodshed and violence in Ukraine, publicly condemned the invasion and urged the Russian Orthodox Church to use its influence with President Vladimir Putin to end the war. There are at least a few million Catholics in Ukraine. The Holy See has called for a ceasefire and corridors to evacuate non-combatants, but the Pope had yet to publicly call out Moscow for initiating a military conflict that is leaving it increasingly isolated on the global stage. UK Prime Minister Boris Johnson has devised a 6-point strategy to oppose Russia's invasion of Ukraine. According to Unplugged TV UK, Prime Minister David Cameron urged backing Ukraine's right to self-defense while raising economic pressure on Russia. The other 4 recommendations include building an international coalition to offer humanitarian aid to Ukraine and stopping the creeping normalization of Russian activity in the country. The TV reports on efforts to strengthen security and stability across the Euro-Atlantic zone, as well as diplomatic efforts to de-escalate the station with full participation. As the Russian-Ukraine war entered day 11, Ukraine's Volodymyr Zelensky made a desperate plea to US senators to send more planes to help in combating Russian invasion. Several countries have either imposed sanctions on or limited bilateral ties with Russia. Thank you for watching Unplugged TV India. Please hit like, subscribe and share. This is Alice Francis signing off.